Hi, it's Ms. Mackenzie, your K-12 district teacher librarian with this year's first Makerspace activity of the school year. So we are going to be celebrating a belated Dot Day and doing a really awesome augmented virtual reality activity associated with Dot Day. So hold on one second while I switch my camera. Okay, so we're going to start with a read aloud of The Dot by Peter Reynolds. And this book just celebrates uniqueness and making your mark in the world. So here we go. The Dot. It is worth a half of an AR point. The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah! A polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark. See where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never before used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the red. She discovered that she could make purple. Vashti kept experimenting lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. Look at that one. Ooh. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. Look at all of them. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his first line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, please sign it. All right, so everyone's an artist and everyone can make an impression or their mark on the world. Okay, so here I am at our school district library website, and I just want to remind everybody that all of our Makerspace slides live right here. And when we are doing Makerspace activities, no matter what they are, we are celebrating the engineering design process. So we go through most often the whole entire cycle with every kit, even the kits that are seemingly simplistic, like manipulating and problem solving with paper. We are practicing STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, as well as the engineering design process. Okay, so your kit this week is actually just a worksheet, a sheet of paper, where you have a circle to make a beautiful dot or make your mark on the world. So here's just a quick little purple drawing I did. And we're going to use an app on a device called the Quiver app. And once all students in class create their dots, I will come around, or your teacher will come around and use this app to turn your dot into a 3D object in augmented reality. It's actually really cool, and I'll show you an example of that in just a second. So thinking of the engineering design process, this is the first time I've ever used this app before. So this was my initial little just scribble, like, I wonder what this is actually going to do. So I tried a circle. And then I was like, what's going to happen if I draw a little face? And in my spare time, I do lots of artwork of women's faces. I take online art classes from Jane Davenport. She's in Australia. And I was like, what will happen to, what's going to be the difference between just what that circle dot looks like, or what's going to happen to a face? And if I draw anything outside of the circle, will it disappear, or will it become part of the augmented reality object? I'm not sure. So you all are going to draw your dots, and I would recommend putting your name on them as well. Sign your artwork, sign your mark, the mark that you're making on the world. And I will pop up next an example of what it looks like in augmented reality. All right, so here's a little clip from my iPhone. It doesn't have audio, so I'm just going to talk you through play by play what this actually looked like. So here we go. There I am on my home screen, and I'm opening the Quiver app. So your teacher can load the app on a device and help you all out. Then you click that orange button at the bottom and you scan your sheet of paper, and then check this magic out. Oh my goodness. There's my messy desk in the background. Now that flat dot that we drew has become a three-dimensional round object. Again, this is the first time I ever played around with this app, so I don't even know all the things that it can do. Oh, there's a flash of my face. So then, without even needing to, I was like, oh my goodness, you can get up and walk around and that thing follows you. And I was pretending to hold it in my hand. I was just blown away by this. And then I touched another button and it began to like move around and wiggle and bounce. And now I'm trying out the second drawing that I did of the girl's face. So I press that orange button again at the bottom, and look what happens to this drawing. So it did cut off her hair, but that's okay. Look at how awesome that is. So it rounded out the drawing, so it looks like a round head or a round face. Again, first time I'm using this app, not even sure what I'm doing, but I'm just clicking that orange button in the left-hand corner of my iPhone. And it turned the dot now into a pinball inside of a maze. And to get it to move, I actually picked up the sheet of paper. You can see me doing that to like get the little dot to move around the maze. So that was cool. And then I must have pressed the button again and went back to a normal dot. When I put my hand over the sheet of paper, which is what the phone is scanning, you can see that the dot disappears. And then I don't even know what I did there, but now I have multiple dots of my image replicated. And there's just one more image of that. You can see me trying to put my hand underneath it again. So it's like if you lose contact with the scan on the paper, then it disappears. Okay, so we are celebrating making our mark in the world. We're trying out the Quiver app and augmented reality, because how cool is that? And then when we think about the engineering design process, I mean, you saw me trying to problem solve, like what's going to be the difference between this versus this. And then when I got into the app and I was just trying to figure out what that dot could actually do, you know, it was creative and I was tinkering and exploring. And then I guess the final question I would leave classes with, like once you actually create your dots and your teacher or I swoop by to use our devices to turn them into the 3D object, the good questions to ask would be like, why, how can this be used in real life? Like, what are some practical reasons to use augmented reality to problem solve in our world and make the world a better place? And one of the first things that comes to mind that I can think of is that I know that this type of augmented reality is used in the medical profession when students who are becoming nurses and doctors are learning about interior organs. They oftentimes will study and look at organs in 3D augmented reality as an alternative to, like, let's say they don't have a cadaver set of lungs. You can look at lungs in augmented reality to learn and study them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's Makerspace activity, and we'll see you next week. Bye.